Hey guys, my name is Vignesh, and today we're going to look at EpicReview. So, EpicReview is actually a reputation management platform and it has multiple functions. So, we're going to go through each one. There's review collection, there's rewards and gamification, there's lead gen, there's dashboard, there's AI reply to your reviews, there's wall of love, as well as broadcast. So, without further ado, let's get going. So, 88% of customers trust reviews as much as their friends' recommendation. This doesn't come from me. You can simply Google to find out the stats. If you're running a retail, store, from whether you're a restaurant, cafe, you're a tuition center, you're a salon, or whether you're a clinic, you know that happy customers don't say anything, and the unhappy ones are the ones who actually sit down to write an essay. So, what happens typically is that you will have a standee or a small QR code, which is typically from Google, and you allow your customers to scan that QR code to go direct to Google to actually leave a review. And so, like what the stats says, happy customers don't say much. The ones who are actually writing essays are the unhappy ones. So you are basically giving a route for customers to give you the bad reviews. And this is where the problem lies. So how we think about it is that we want to identify the customer's intention upfront. And so how we do this is we ask the customer for a feedback. If it is 1 to 3 star and we know that the customer had an unpleasant experience, we collect this feedback, we put it into the backend, and we alert your staff so that they can do their service recovery. Whether this is to issue a voucher, whether this is to explain to them, or give them some kind of an offer on the second visit, all of this can be actually done before their review actually goes to Google. If, let's say, they had a wonderful experience, of course, we would like to urge them to actually give the review on Google. This way, other customers can get to see that and come down to your store. So that's pretty much how we do this. So let me go ahead to share with you how this happens. So let's just say, for example, the customer had a bad experience. He gives you a 2 star. What we are trying to do here is to collect their name, number, and email, and then we collect their feedback and we bring this over to the backend and alert your staffs so that you can then take an action to recover this customer. If, let's say, for example, the customer had a very great experience, now we will still collect their name, number, and email, and this time when they submit their feedback, we're going to ask them, is it okay if you could actually give us a Google review? So we are being compliant. We are actually asking for a feedback. We want to know where's the intention of the customer, and through which then you get the good ones to actually go on to Google, and the bad ones you solve them immediately so that your business actually starts improving. So that's on the review collection front. So on the review collection front, there's actually a few things. You can actually collect these reviews using a standee with a QR code, or you could actually email this link. We can even integrate this with your CRM or your POS system. We could even do an SMS blast to actually follow up with the customer. And there's another one more, which is through broadcast. I'll actually share with you later. Now, for rewards and gamification, as you saw over here, we actually rewarded the customer for their feedback, not for their review, just for their feedback. Now, this basically just delights the experience for the customer. Aside to this, we do have spin the wheel as well as scratch and win. Now, let me just share with you what happens. Let's just say, for example, the customer had a bad experience. Just because, let's say, your speed can be improved. Now, when I send this feedback, we also still want to, give a chance for this customer to return. Or if, let's say, they had a very good experience, we still want them to come back. So how we do this is by introducing spin and win or scratch and win. And so basically the idea here is that after their first purchase, they're actually going to go ahead to spin the wheel. They're going to win a prize, and typically this prize can be redeemed on their next visit. Every time they visit, imagine they can earn a point, and each point actually allows them to actually spin the wheel again. So you could actually set this up as like 3 points to spin the wheel or 5 points to spin the wheel. Think about it very similar to the chop system, but this is digitized. And so we are helping you collect the customer's name, number, and email. So we put a face to the review. On top of that, we're giving them a reason to actually return to your store. So that's basically what we do in this whole review flywheel. So next, we're going to talk about lead generation. So on this front, of course, you do, all sorts of marketing, whether this is online, whether this is in-store. In-store, you'll have certain posters or even standees to say that, hey, we are running a promotion. Why don't you come on and check it out? Now, how do you test the efficacy of this? There is no way. You just know from your monthly sales data. Now, we have a way to actually track this with a unique tracking link. Let me just go ahead to share with you. So under sell vouchers, you actually have, let's say, these vouchers. You can go ahead to create as many as you want. This is a free drink voucher. I'm going to go ahead to look at all the generated unique links. So here, if you notice, there's something called email, another one for influencer, another one for flyer. You can actually go ahead to create one, let's just say for Facebook. So just imagine the flyer is the one that you're giving at the store. Now you have a separate link for that. You have another link separate for influencer. You have another link for email, and you have another link for Facebook. So you will actually have analytics as to see how many people opened it, how many people clicked it, how many people redeemed it. So now you can actually double down on which channel actually works best for your business. So instead of just spraying and hoping, now you know which channel actually brings you the actual revenue. So if, let's say, for example, the flyer at the store is the one that's working and bringing in a lot more customers, go ahead to double down. Maybe create other vouchers, maybe create some kind of promotion, with flyers, for that matter. So that is on the voucher front. Now, each voucher, like I shared with you, has its own link. And if I were to just land on this link, this is a demo, obviously. Of course, there's a name, what type of voucher, how to redeem, terms and condition, and all of those kind of stuff. And so this, in a nutshell, basically helps you capture your leads, bring them over to your store, and redeem and make a purchase. Next, I'm going to share with you our review dashboard, and this one is actually a full-on insight as to your sentiment analysis, your word cloud, and the review heat map. Let me just go ahead to share with you how this works. So here under our reviews, you get to see basically what is a snapshot, as to what's happening with your business. This is the 7 days, 30 days, and even 90 days. You can actually toggle with this. So here, if you notice, we have gained 37 customers over the last 90 days. There's a rating movement of 0.1 star, which is very impressive. And there's 21 reputation protected. These are basically bad reviews that could have actually gone to Google, but this has been protected right now for you to actually take action. And then we actually have a performance dashboard where you can get to see your positive sentiment, your neutral sentiment, as well as your negative sentiment. You also have a word cloud as to see what is the topic that most customers are discussing. If, let's say, for example, here, if you notice this drink recommendation, if I click on this, now you know that these are all positive and people are talking about drink recommendation. So if there was something that relates to your business in terms of marketing or some kind of messaging, you know where to pick these from. So that's on the dashboard. Next, you've got analytics. Now within analytics, you get to see what's the review growth like for your stores. You can even toggle this by outlet. So you get to see how your reviews are actually growing. You get to see when your reviews are good, when your reviews are bad. And now, a very interesting thing is that you get to see what the customers are saying, like by theme, right? So here, if you notice, a lot of people are talking about quality and they feel good about it. Fantastic. Now, if there was a certain topic that was bad, maybe let's say value, maybe that gives you an idea that, hey, you know what, maybe I could introduce some kind of a new, product or service or, a menu item that could actually, attend to a certain a theme that the customers are actually talking about. Now, on top of this, we have something called sentiment by day. This is very interesting. So if I toggle this to, let's say, 90 days on a longer horizon, here, if you notice, Sundays, I'm getting a good review. Monday was 100% positive one. Tuesday was a bad one. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on and so forth. Now, this gives you perspective as to find out, in a week, where am I getting the bad reviews from? Is it because of a particular location? Is it because of a particular timing? And if it is timing, then maybe am I understaffed? It gives you ideas as to how to actually solve your problems within the outlet as well as the operation. Now, on the same review dashboard, we do have reviews. Here we can pull your reviews from Google, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, TripAdvisor, as well as EpicReview. Now within EpicReview, you basically can get to see all of the reviews that has been collected. So, and at this front, for those customers that actually leave their mobile number, you actually do have a contact on WhatsApp button. So aside to generating an AI reply, you can actually click on it and go ahead to actually answer the customer or even speak to them as to, what exactly happened. So that's pretty much about the dashboard. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, next we've got AI review reply. So here's what we do under reviews. Here, if you notice, we've got Google Maps, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, TripAdvisor, as well as EpicReview. All you have to do is just click once and you can go ahead to prepare a response. So if I click on it, you basically get to see Dear Jaslyn and their entire response. You can simply just go ahead to copy and paste and you are done with the review. Now, if let's say, for example, this happens to be a bad review, you could do exactly the same. you can just click on generate AI reply and go ahead to respond to it and then mark it as resolved. So basically what we're trying to do is to help you respond to these reviews as tactful as possible and ensure that Google actually recognizes that you are a legit business who actually cares about experience. So that's about the AI review reply. All right, next is the wall of love, and this is one of my favorites. So here, basically, after collecting all of these reviews, what you got to do is to showcase them, right? So we have got this feature called the wall of love. So here we have the masonry template. We've also got a carousel template for you to choose from. We also have a marquee. So this basically gives you some kind of an animation. And so all you got to do is to just simply copy this embed code and just paste it. Just to give you a live example. So this is our website, and here if you notice, we have our section where we have copied and pasted our embed code. So we use our own solution as well, just to let you know that, we believe in what we do. So yeah, that is on the wall of love. All right, next we've got broadcasts. So we can actually do email broadcasts, SMS, as well as WhatsApp. So all you got to do is to head over to Engage, and here under campaigns, you can actually view the data as to how many were sent, how many delivered, how many opened, how many clicked, and so on and so forth. Now, we have something called a campaign calendar, which gives you ideas as to what are the kind of emails that you can actually prepare. Of course, you can create your own custom emails as well. Simply just go ahead to create that. I'll show you in a bit. But this basically gives you an idea. So for example, 5 days away is actually Father's Day. And so now you can actually go ahead to create this campaign and actually start sending it out. So if you go under templates, now if I clicked on edit, so here if you notice, this is a drag and drop kind of a builder. So simply just, you can feel free to just adjust any of the font colors, add images, and so on and so forth. It's a complete feature-rich email builder, so you can go ahead to do your email blast from here itself. You can also upload your customers. If let's say, for example, there are a certain group of customers that are not within the review portion, you can actually go ahead to do that as well. We have something called a review outreach as well. Now, for review outreach, it's simply a way for you to actually ask for reviews, right? So you can select from existing customers or go ahead to upload a fresh list. Let's just say we want to do an existing customer. I just select the particular customer and I go ahead to continue. Now I select which outlet do I want this to represent. And then I select whether this is going to be email or SMS. Let's just say it's email. Now I've got a follow-up sequence. Now first day, you've got this particular email. You can feel free to adjust this as well. Then second day, the follow-up email. Third day, if you want more, we can actually create that as well. If you want to add images, you can also edit them as well. So it's super flexible. So that's pretty much about broadcast for you to actually keep your customers engaged and get your reviews. So this isn't a tool, it is a reputation engine. And this Epic Review is just one portion of what Epicware can do for your business.